Oh, snap.
What's up?
What's up, Playboy? What's up, Playboy?
We don't stop.
We don't stop. Now, I know we're having this live just last second, but it's really to address the haters. I see you, Durand. Maybe you can come up here, man, a little bit. In a little bit, we'll drop the link. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of haters out there. They're trying to get us to stop, and we just want to let y'all know that ain't happening.
Never.
Because we don't stop. We just don't stop. I mean, but basically, yeah. I mean, we're here to talk about. I titled this talking about arrest and whatnot. So, and we're not gonna go over all of the details basically, but we're gonna kind of give you guys a broad outline of what happened there. So, basically, we were just recording in public. There was no trespassing signs in the area, and they came over and arrested us, said we were trespassing. Then they added on a charge of intimidation. Now, an update is that we actually haven't been formally charged yet. Now, I actually have. Let's see. I'm going to upload this to the drive so that we can show you all. But we do actually have. See, I'm so bad with paperwork. That's why pretty much the extent of my paperwork is filling it out and giving it to government employees so that they can give me my, my records that I want. But, I do have paperwork still, and we're going to show that to y'all. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long it can take for them to put that up, that we have charges against us. I'm not sure if there's like a statute of limitations for that or not.
I think it's like 2 years.
2 years? So
I think 2.5 years.
For charges?
Yeah.
Wow.
If they want to, yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. But yeah, guys, we're going to get the proof that at least that I bonded Ty out of jail. And I mean, y'all watch our videos. Ty ain't going to jail unless I'm going to jail as well.
Yeah.
So how do they charge bail on no crime? Well, they're alleging us of a crime because all they need is probable cause, according to the law, probable cause to believe that we have committed a crime. But I think the prosecutor is going to decide that. And I'm sure that I really can't see the prosecutor maintaining that was actually a lawful arrest. But, yeah. I mean, and guys, also, I mean, there's always going to be people out there that doubt us, and say, well, you were lying to try to get money. Like, really, we aren't keeping any of the money that anybody sent us. We are, let's face it, it's expensive to do this kind of shit. Like, not only do you spend nowadays about $80 a day trying to drive somewhere, but, and then when this kind of crap happens, lawyers ain't cheap. So, they all act like we're just trying to get money out of people and shit. Like, really, I'm making about the same after all this nonsense gets done as I was at my brick factory job. I just do this because I have a lot more fun with it. So it is what it is, though. People are going to try to hate. They're going to try to say this and that. But the fact of the matter is, we don't stop. No matter what they say, we just don't stop.
Nope.
I have this thing, it's like a thing in my heart, and I just don't stop. I can't stop. So they put charges on my husband for speeding 10 years after the ticket was written.
Wow.
He said, Steve says his girlfriend goes to jail with him also. Do you mean that when you go to jail, you always make sure that your girl also gets charges? That's crazy. I don't know. I've never heard of that before. I've taken charges for, while I had my girlfriend in a car before, but never made sure that my girl goes to jail with me. That's just me personally, though. That's just me personally.
To each their own, man.
Yeah. You want to make sure. I don't know how that works, bro, but that's just me personally. But, thank you, Tyler. Tyler Pyle. Yeah, it wasn't even the court parking lot. I don't even know where the court is, but
Yeah.
He's saying Omaha got arrested. When was this, Mile High Medic? This wasn't recently, surely. Me, how can I donate? I mean, you could send a super chat, but YouTube takes 33% of that. So if you would like to donate, we can. Our Cash App, we'll just pin our Cash App. But anyways, guys, hey Snag Wolf, no man, you're obviously a member, man. You're helping us out already, and I mean, any help that we get, we appreciate. Right now, we don't have. What is it? We don't have a need to hire a criminal lawyer, so we're looking at a civil lawyer right now because obviously we're not going to hire the civil lawyer the criminal lawyer until we get criminal charges pressed. So we'll do that when it's necessary. Right now, I'm working on getting the document up that shows that I bailed Ty out of jail. I've got a picture of it, so we'll get that out. And before this, Ty had never been to jail.
My first time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish this on anybody. It sucked.
Yeah, no doubt. And he was only in there for a few hours, so it's
about 12, I think.
Yeah, just about 12.
From 7 in the morning to 7 p.m. Around that time.
Are you seeing the comments on that one?
I'm not. I don't think you can see it on my end.
You can. You just got to press that chat button. All right.
It's a private chat.
So we've got it up for you guys. You ready to see it? I hope that you all are ready to see it. $10 from me. Thank you, man. How much do I need to lawyer up, man? You know what? That's all. That all depends on how much a lawyer is going to cost us. But thank you so much, me. I appreciate that. I saw AFA in the chat. How's it going, AFA? Glad to see you here. We're going to show you guys what's up with this here. Hopefully, it's not too hard to see. Oh, there we go. We can zoom in. Yeah. All right. Oh, that's nothing. Okay, we're going to share that screen, show you guys. And this is just for anybody who doubted. I know that nobody watching this stream is probably a doubter. Can I send 1,000? I wouldn't advise you to send 1,000, brother. And everybody is doing their part. I wouldn't ask for $1,000 from anybody, my man. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Let's see here. If you send 1,000, make sure it goes to the Cash App because screw YouTube getting 333.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. So as you can see, it says County Division Cash Bail Bond, State versus Tyler Pierce. This is Ty. I hate to dox you, Ty, but
you're fine, man. I don't care.
This is the proof here, and then it's hard to see it because of the zoom, but we're gonna zoom out so that you guys can see it a little bit better. But obviously, there's no case assigned, so we haven't been formally charged as of yet, and that can happen any day. Either way, the civil lawsuit is gonna happen. Now, this happened on June 27th. 2022. That's the same day that we made that live stream. So you guys know that we're not just spewing nonsense out here, but this is certainly Ty's bond paper there. So screw anybody who said that we're lying. But yeah, Durand, yeah.
It's clearly photoshopped, yeah.
Clearly, but. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to go for it. So Robert Wolf II, The arrest was allegedly for trespass, and for me it was intimidation. Ty didn't get intimidation.
Did you get both? Trespassing and
intimidation? Yeah. Well, apparently they haven't actually charged me yet. So.
Yeah.
Wow. So we just got a donation from SCP. It looks like SC Poog. So thank you, man. That was for a fill up and a bite to eat, man. I appreciate that a lot. That's great. Thank you so much, brother. But guys, we do actually have a video coming out tomorrow. I don't know if you guys really like it, but I always like it here in Indiana when the county recorders say stuff like, well, you can't take pictures of our records. It'll cost you $1 per page. And the reality is that the statute doesn't say anything like that. So we've got an audit tomorrow coming out where we literally we kind of ask, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if we do go and take pictures? And, of course, you'll love to see the result of that. Maybe that was even while we were arrested. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna try to do that. But hey, for public safety, thanks for joining us, brother. Good to see you here. But yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, we just wanted to come on and show you that piece of evidence. Yeah, Durand, that was one of my favorite parts when they told me I couldn't, and I was just like, no, I can. Yeah, let me go ahead and demonstrate. Yeah, it was quite funny. But I mean, hey, the panel is open now. We didn't really have too much left to say. Hey, what's up, Michigan Constitutional Crusader?
What's up?
Yeah, we're gonna drop the link though for a panel. I know that Durand always has some stuff to talk about. I don't know if you have. I know that you said you had somewhat of a thing planned next time we did it, or maybe you were wanting to plan it. So if that's what you want to do, yeah, come up here and tell us. Frickin' media, hey, what's up, brother? Good to see you here, man. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Chester County News, $1 per page in Indiana County courthouses. That's what they say.
Which is criminal.
Jeremy Shaw says he sent $10 to help. I see that, Jeremy. Thank you very much, man. I thank you a whole lot for that. But yeah, guys, and it's kind of a thing with the people that hate on auditors is they say that we get online and we e-beg, and I just want to say I'm not begging anybody. I'm just putting it out there that we could use help. And
yeah, you can or you can't.
And yeah, you guys are always there to oblige. Like, I really appreciate that. But I think it's because our supporters really it's hard to understand why somebody would want to support something like this if they don't understand that the government is bad in the first place. And so that's why our supporters kind of see it a lot differently. Like, they understand the government does terrible things to good people. And, well, hey, for public safety, you'll see, man. It's not how it is in most courthouses, at least up north of where you are. But yeah, I mean, let's see. Would you guys support a private database for facial recognition of law enforcement officers? I wouldn't be one of the largest contributors, but I would certainly contribute a little bit to it, and we would start donate, start getting the awareness out for that, because that sounds like a good idea. Tony Sweet, absolutely nothing wrong with supporting through donations. Yeah, I'd agree, man. Back when I was just watching, I was sending donations to auditors that I thought, and not necessarily even that needed help, just that I thought, wow, thank God that they're out doing what they're doing, because I really appreciate what they're doing. So we've got the big man in the house. This is Durand Meow. He's going to join us, right, Meow? So what's up, Durand? Oh, he's muted.
Yo.
Man.
Did you get that bologna sandwich and milk?
I got honestly, I got crappy spaghetti, dude. Dude. Spaghetti, bread,
Spaghetti. That's
spaghetti,
no good.
bread, and some lettuce. I mean, it was
Yeah.
poor. It was piss poor. I want to say, Super White Privilege just gave us $1, man. Thank you. Anything helps. I appreciate that, Super White Privilege. But but yeah, Durand, how's it going, man? What have you been up to?
Man, just working, dude.
Hell
Working
yeah.
and watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's the life, really, man. That's really
Yeah. I'm not up to shit, man. I went golfing yesterday. That was about it. Nothing good.
okay. Yeah, I gotta address this. Lenny's always he's always dreaming, hoping that I'm wearing a Celtic top. No, this is a Scotland top. You know,
Yeah.
I hate to break your heart, Lenny, but you know, even I support the country, even though we flail every time we get into a big match, but it's all right. But man, I know that you said you were thinking of coming up with some kind of devil's advocate questions about anarchy. Did you get any of that stuff, or are we gonna have to wait till next time?
I could. I'm not prepared. You said you weren't doing a live today, so I didn't really.
Yeah, I know, man. this came up unexpectedly, even for me. I looked at Ty around 6:50. I was like, "You want to go live?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure."
It's usually the best time to do it, right?
Yeah.
Let me see what I got here. No, I mean, I'd have to go back through it for a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Hey, actually, Super White Privilege was the one who cash apped us 100 earlier. He just said that he had changed his name. So yeah, I appreciate that a lot, man. I just didn't recognize the cash app tag, but
You guys are awesome.
yeah, no doubt. And Durand, you're always there to help us, man. I gotta thank you publicly, dude. Thank you so much for what you do. Every time we're in a jam, Durand is always there. Like one of the biggest, if not the biggest supporter as far as, you know, any financial trouble goes. So
Yeah, no worries. Good coin in this business.
yeah. Ty McNabb also gave us some support. He sent 50. Ty is I see that, Ty. Ty is a member as well. We appreciate you so much, brother. I don't think that was the first donation that he made towards this either, but thank you.
There's a lot of folks that support the movement, and like I think you said this on Auditor's channel yesterday. Don't have the balls to like go up to a pig and say "fuck you, do your job," but we'd like to. We just it's not my constitution, you know. I just can't, you know.
Dude, when they say it's stupid, like you're asking for troubles for sure. Like, you know, it's not like that stuff. It's not like if you go say "fuck you" in a, like, you know, smart way, they're not going to try to retaliate.
Yeah,
they certainly are. I don't
not going to
advise
forget it
anybody.
either. They're never going to forget it.
No, never at all, man. It's so we do it knowing the risk. Like, I just know that as soon as I can, I'm kind of, you know, as soon as I'm off probation, I'm leaving this state. So while I'm here, though, while they're keeping me here, they're gonna have to get exposed. But Gino says, keep up the good fight. I always call the department or city hall and ask them why they are harassing journalists. Thank you, Gino. I always love to hear that people are calling. That really, that's one of my favorite things. As a matter of fact, almost every video where we post that people should call, I give them a call about 5 hours after we post the video and just ask them, like, hey, have you guys been getting any phone calls today about those dang freedom people? And they'll kind of be like, yeah, you know, we get a few people calling. And I'm like, God, those dang freedom guys. I hate
That's a good line. I like that line. I'm going to start using that.
Yeah, those damn freedom people. I just imagine how cops kind of sit amongst themselves in their car and they're like, shh, we got another one of those damn
we got a good book.
yeah. You're good at that, dude.
Yeah, I've had practice.
Yeah, we got one of those freedom people over here though. I hate them. Like, let's just see. Let's try to find any way we can to put them in jail, take their freedom away from them.
Follow James Freeman when he does that, when he calls up the cops to ask him, like, hey, if some guy yelled at me and said, if some guy came over here and when I threw the ball in the bush and said, have your dog go get it, and I wanted to put him in handcuffs and put him in the back of my car and lock him in my dungeon, what would happen to me?
Yeah. Well, you'd probably go to jail. Should I get mental help then? Yes.
Do I need to call a doctor?
Dude, it's crazy. The day that we were going up to Lake County, I must have just I was obviously sleep deprived or something, because I put in my GPS. I thought I put Stark County, but I must have clicked Lake County Sheriff's Department. So we actually just ended up in Lake County. We were trying to go out to Stark County because that's exactly where that video that James covered happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a Stark County sheriff's, and they arrested a guy for free speech. So we went out there looking.
Right in his front yard.
Yeah, on his own property. So we went out there to look into that situation, ask him some questions, but we actually just ended up getting arrested for freedom, one of those damn freedom activities ourselves. So, but it is
disruptors.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And oh my God, dude, the lieutenant was there. He was crying his eyes out. He was like, "You make us come out here. I've got a skeleton shift, and you guys are making me like all these officers come out here." I was like, "We didn't make anybody come out here. You guys decided to come out here on your own." Like 6 officers for an alleged trespass seems like a little bit much to me, especially if the people are indicating that they're willing to leave under a threat of arrest. So they're just ridiculous, man. But hi to everybody in the chat. If you're new, we're just kind of chopping it up right now.
I think you can't talk much about the incident.
Yeah, we can't really talk that much about it because I honestly haven't even talked to a lawyer yet. So really, I just am giving people kind of a broad outline of what occurred. Like it, and really, it is what it is. Like if they deleted the camera footage, it's not going to look good on them because the security cameras on the county jail are going to show that we had cameras in hand, gimbals in hand, and we were recording. So where did that video go?
Right.
So there should be a video still. We're going to talk to the lawyer about getting the phone back. As far as I know, Lake County has done this to 2 other auditors. One of them, I think, was Omaha, Floyd from News Now Omaha. Mm-hmm. But the other one, I'm not going to say his name just because, it's out there though. His federal case is out there, but he's not put his name out for the public to see. So I'm not going to do that. But as far as I know, we are the first auditors where they've actually stolen the phone for stuff like this. So it's I don't know what they're planning, but Michigan Constitutional Crusader. Sorry, Durand, but if you want to go to Lake County, man, I would really like it if you got a hold of me first because we can rally a few other auditors to come over there and we can do somewhat of a mass audit. But unfortunately, me and Ty have got to take a back seat in that audit. We can't do that much over there. I'm not trying to have a stack of cases on my head because they want to flex their tyranny. So I've already got a stack of cases, to be fair. So I'm just going to let everybody else take that. And but yeah, it is what it is. We're trying to do what we can still. We're getting out there and doing audits, but I'm not quite pushing the envelope as much as I would if I wasn't already caught up with stuff. So mods, what is Durand's link? Durand, do you even have any content in your YouTube channel?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Not yet. I'm thinking about it. But I live in DC. I live in DC, so auditing for me would be quite dangerous.
Dude, yeah. They always say, if you were in China, they just drive by and scoop you off the side of the road. I'd expect that.
The feds would make me disappear. I could happen onto something that I'm not supposed to see. That's national security, and you'll never see me again.
No doubt. So we're actually beginning to get a good lineup in here. But Michigan Constitutional Crusader, I could do that. We definitely could do that. But we're getting the whole lineup in here. Now all that's left is Ryan Youngblood.
All Anarchists are coming up here.
Yeah, John Reese is in the house. Now all we need really is Ryan Youngblood to make an appearance, and we've got the whole team together. So,
so that civic duty judge was pretty interesting. The judge that had the hearing without him.
Yeah,
and then the fact that the police didn't obey the judge's order and let him sit outside the courtroom. I was a bit shocked. That judge must just have no clout.
Dude, I was shocked as well when I saw the video and I heard that the judge said, "Okay, officers, bring him into the courtroom." I was like,
They were like, nah.
yeah, well, I was sitting there. I'm like, this is exactly what happened to me. But the deputies decided, no, we're not doing it. And I was like, and people were on me in the comments like, I can't believe you thanked the guy for enforcing law. I didn't never thank him for enforcing law. I thanked him for not just listening to the judge like a robot. Like that's something that's at least a step in the right direction. Because really, if those deputies had done it, even if the judge was wrong, let's be honest, the consequences were going to be what they were going to be, and he would have had the chance to fight it afterwards. Here we go. This is it. So I always love these comments, and these people are obsessed with my channel. John, I haven't really said hi to you yet, man, but I want to read this comment. It's a shame that CHandTY are making themselves unemployable in return for 15 minutes of YouTube fame. Durand looks like another guy. Companies are dying to give job.
I work for Deloitte Consulting, if you ever heard of it. It's just kind of a small company, yeah. Not
right.
Not employable at all.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like Mike, I don't know, man. I have a feeling that even I have a feeling that if we really went to jail for a long time and got out needing a job, I have a feeling that the people on YouTube would be so elated to see us get out of jail and start making more content that whole employed for someone else thing wouldn't be an issue. When I look at these three guys, the first thing I think is work ethic. Yeah. No, Mike, I hear you, man. I mean, look, working for somebody else is easy, but when you've got to actually organize your own labor and you've got to do it in such a way that, you aren't dependent on a third party. Yeah. Work ethic is definitely required. That's for sure.
I have strong work ethic and make a good living to support folks like CHandTY.
Yeah. And I can attest to that. Yeah, for sure. Durand isn't hurting at all. So, Mike, I mean, I don't know. Like, honestly, I'm getting sick. Like, these guys can comment on the channel static footage, but when it's live, now as a matter of fact, let's just keep him. He's adding to the algorithm. Thank you, Mike. But John, how's it going, brother? What are you up to, man?
Morning, guys. How are we?
Oh, what's up? We're doing good. It's good morning to you, and it's good evening for us. So
the tyranny of time zones, hey?
Mm-hmm.
I just honestly, I just thought I'd jump on again. I enjoy doing the weekly chats and stuff, and saw the video of what happened with the courtroom, and I'm just like, that is, as usual, like judges. And when you actually confronted him in the car park, you get to see him for what he truly is. A coward who is shaking, who is shaking exactly because all of a sudden he lost his magical powers, which he has in a room somehow granted to him by some piece of paper, again somehow, to be able to use violence against you to solve his problems.
Yeah, and I didn't even point that out in the video because I didn't want people to think that, well, you were going in there to try to intimidate. We didn't go in there to try to intimidate at all. As a matter of fact, if you hear, I was actually telling Gem City to kind of slow down on his approach so the guy didn't get too intimidated. But that didn't help at all. The guy was shaking in his boots, and for good reason. Like, when I'm walking by five guys on the street and I just kind of see them doing their thing, I never really get scared of them unless I think that I've done something to really, hurt those guys or done something wrong that maybe somebody would want to hold me accountable for. But it is what it is. Those people, they never take the higher moral ground. They just always kind of try to hurt us as much as they can. And it's really actually pathetic, dude. Like, when I think about it, that judge, if you watch the original video, I'm almost convinced that he had seen the video of me getting pulled into a courtroom because he expected it to go down the exact same way. I think he even did the same motion, pull him into the courtroom. And it just didn't work, but it shows that the guy had thought it through. And if he ever saw one of these dang people who were trying to exercise rights in his presence, oh, he's ready. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He wants to call 7 cops, get him there and just try to throw this guy in a cage because he wants to show those dang freedom people that this ain't the America that you think it is. Hell no. You know, it's sad, man.
It genuinely is pathetic, and the kind of people who actually want to go into that line of work where they get called Your Honor. Imagine
explicit
how
power, just drunk on explicit power. Like they just love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine how big your ego would have to be demanding that other human beings call you Your Honor. Like, seriously, imagine going around and going, oh, no, you can't call me, you know, John or Craig or like Dave or whatever. You must call me Your Honor. Otherwise, I'll hold you in contempt. It's unbelievable ego of these people. And then you got to see it with Craig too, right? When you got arrested, you know, they're petulant children. They can't sort their problems out using non-violent means. So they throw temper tantrums and then they get other humans to commit the violence on their behalf. It's just pathetic.
Yeah, it really is. And like the thing is that there's no amount of criticism. Like the reason I didn't push the issue too much is because I felt like they're trying to have further proceedings for the guy. His channel is Civic Duty. And I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to try to really push this too hard and really try to make him too mad, because then he can really, you know, try to stick it to Civic Duty, even if it's illegal. Like the way the legal system works is the judge can do something totally illegal. You might beat that charge, you might beat that conviction, but you're not going to beat the ride. You're going to do your time in jail, and then your lawyer will, you know, can appeal it, but that takes time too. So,
well, people, that's spot on, Craig. People don't understand that. I think that James Freeman does a good job of expressing this, is that you're not governed by quote unquote laws, you're governed by human beings. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they're human beings who have guns, and they don't care what their own scribbles say. They will use those guns to control you. It full stop. Like, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. They have a monopoly on the use of legal violence. Yeah. Legal in inverted commas. So yeah, I can see why you did it, Craig, and I applaud you for not trying to put the poor guy in any more trouble, because the petulant crybaby judge can turn around and go, you get 6 months in a cage. Like, it's absurd that people actually support a government monopoly on the just us system.
Yeah, it's sickening, man. And I really, yeah, I mean, I really just feel for the guy. I mean, because I know how it is, man. It's stressful. Like, you've not done anything wrong, and you've got this, exactly what you said, a petulant guy who has just this power that nobody's going to question, and he can just throw him in jail for your right. 6 months, 180 days at the max. So it's important to not try to, I don't want to push it too hard. I just want to get it to where people really see what's going on, because I mean, I don't know what the straw that breaks the camel's back is going to be, if there even is going to be one. It might be the economic system. But you know, if people do decide to actually say, you know, we're done with this, it's going to be reasons like this, you know, just judges wanting to throw people in jail for not doing anything wrong at all. It's essentially like what Thomas Jefferson described in the Declaration of Independence. It's a kangaroo court. It's a mock trial. There's no justice being served in it. It's a statute. Yeah, it's the modern day equivalent of the crown punishing anybody who dissents from their views. So it is what it is. But I mean, I expect it to get much worse before it gets better. Just personally.
Oh, I agree. It's not like the U.S. economy is in a great place right now, is it? You know. Then again, nor is the world economy. And I just saw a comment from somebody in the chat, No Italiva, who said they'd never, I probably butchered that, I'm sorry, who said, whoa, just our system never heard that that's powerful. Well, think about it this way. When people in government commit crimes, they don't get held accountable for those crimes. The system is built to just serve the people who are in power. A prime example, of this is look at all the people who flew to Jeffrey Epstein's private island on the Lolita Express who are in government, and none of them put on blast. Yet we had live stream of the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial 24/7.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I'm not going to make a comment on that because I actually live in the U.S. unlike John. So, I'm not going to make any comments about that guy that he just mentioned in fear of being killed in my sleep. But certainly it's true. He's making good points. Felon Filming 5-0, you can come up here, man. I don't know if you're still in the chat. You can slide on up. I just know you said that you're feeling sick, so no. I got a text from him. I don't know if he wants to come up or not, but yeah. Welcome anytime, brother. But
I think in the US it's kind of fucked up. Like our reward system is all wrong. Like we're always rewarding the people who are willing to do anything for their own benefit. We offer them jobs as police, executives, politicians. We reward the bribable, the greedy, the self-serving with positions of power and ultimate responsibility over and over and over. And what takeaway for such behavior, right? What happens to them?
And it's like that in the public sector and in the private sector. I mean, it's become. I think I've heard a lot of people describe our system in the U.S. as corporatism, and it's like it's the same way. Like we reward people for screwing up all the time in our economic system, like
bankers.
Yeah, bankers, auto companies. I actually had somebody comment a few weeks ago that was so brainwashed. They said, in your anarchy system, there wouldn't be any cars because the government wouldn't have been able to bail out.
I remember.
And I was laughing so hard at it. I was like, people are so brainwashed. Yeah, like, nobody's going to be able to build cars for a profit. That's why the government has to, obviously. It's like, how do you think that the auto companies did before the government started the money? They were doing just fine. Henry Ford was one of the richest in the U.S. So,
a lot better.
Yeah, they were doing a hell of a lot better. It was cheaper. It was probably more trustworthy engineering, but I can't say that for sure with modern times increasing the technology and the power of that. So, but Chester County News, policing for profit. And I always kind of like people saying that, like Chester County, I most likely respect your views and all this, but this is a misconception. The police don't actually police for profit in the way that people would like to think. When they write a ticket, they don't actually see that money themselves. Now, they might get bonuses if they write enough tickets. Yeah, or they might get a promotion if they're a proficient ticket writer or a person that arrests people a lot. But policing for profit would essentially be private police. And if they were policing for profit on a consensual basis, they would be finding ways to help people instead of hurt them. The government is the only way that policing for profit is a bad thing. If it's in the private sector, there would obviously still be people that, private security, but they wouldn't be incentivized to steal your money. They would be incentivized to provide a service that actually added value to your company. So if you had a store, and you wanted to hire security, you wouldn't be doing it because someone forces you to. You'd be doing it because you're going to save money on maybe theft than, rather than paying these guys a salary. You might pay less money paying them a salary than you would if you were losing on the money from theft. But yeah, you're wrong there, Craig. And the thing is like it, I don't know, maybe I am wrong, but I think that maybe I just didn't explain it as well as I could have there. But public police, basically, they police in the worst way. Their incentives are to hurt you. Like the incentives of a private sector, a profiting company, because the police don't actually profit. I'm sure that they're in the hole. I'm sure that one of our biggest expenses of any city government or county government is its police force, and I'm sure that they do not earn back what people spend on them. But Okay, I recommend the Real News channel.
Unless they just confiscate, cash that they find on drug busts.
That's true, but then they have to hire lawyers to actually keep that. But a lot of the times, man, they actually just expect people to forfeit it.
Yeah.
See, I've got a case for $50,000 out of Terre Haute. The police stole $50,000 from me, but they didn't actually steal it in cash. They hacked in. Well, they didn't hack in. They went to Robinhood and Webull and my bank account or my bank, and they went there with warrants, and they basically just drained the accounts. I mean, they actually sold my stock that I had in Robinhood, and they drained the accounts of the money. And all in all, it was about $50,000 and I think $18. So I've got a lawsuit with Terre Haute on that. But they actually just expected me to forfeit it. Like, they expected me to say, like, yeah, we caught you with weed, so now everything that you've ever owned or saved is now illegal. Like, that's not how this works, I'm not going to talk too much about that either. But Mike has really changed his ways here, man. He wants us to get hidden cameras. He's concerned about us being victims of police brutality.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, Mike. I do appreciate that. Yeah, that's great. Well, at least we changed one mind here today. So why aren't you an ANCAP instead of just an anarchist? Because an ANCAP is just another way to say anarchist. That's what I think. I mean,
profit motive, that's voluntary.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no other
regulated monopolies.
Yes. Yeah.
It's all the same thing.
Oh, look at Mike, man. I guess if you were just messing with us, man, all fun and games, huh? Thanks. I wish I had as much charisma as some people in this movement with Chili, but I don't. So hopefully I can get there one day. But I will say we don't stop. That's for sure. We definitely don't stop.
Did you see that cringeworthy stream that he did where he was like just shouting at an officer from the side of the street? Like, it was nighttime. He was on a bike with his helmet.
And he got shot?
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He thought they said it was a pellet gun or something, or the people were throwing it at him.
Right. It wasn't a pellet gun.
No way.
If it's a pellet gun, you'd be bleeding.
You feel it.
Yeah. Like, it is a.
Oh my god, dude! It was cringeworthy.
What? Look at this. Look at this, guys. Now, I'm not hating on you. I can't really pronounce that. Whoever posted this comment, I'm not hating on you. I just think that you have a gross misunderstanding of what anarchists actually want, at least true anarchists. Do either one of you two want to kind of explain how that's not really right?
Left-leaning. I'll let John take it.
Oh, cheers. Well, I've spent the week debating ANCOMs and watching my mate debate ANCOMs on a post he put up on his Facebook page. So we run Australia's largest anarchy freedom voluntarist page, whatever you want to call it. And so ANCOM in itself, to me, is a contradiction, because communism needs a centralized state to enforce whatever random edicts they decide to have, right? The problem is, of course, an ANCOM is a contradiction, right? So you can't actually have a communist society that's voluntary. You could make an argument that a socialist environment that is voluntary, like a commune on private property where the participants all agree to be shareholders within that property and to share everything that they own, would be in line with an anarchist, no masters, no rulers society. So I would argue that a socialist system that is voluntary is basically just kind of, again, weird capitalism, because they agree to split the profits of their labor. But so, yeah, anarchy basically comes from a Greek word, no masters, no rulers, right? That's all it means. And so it was termed by the left, I think, back in about the 17th century, to kind of go against like centralized authority. But if you're going to apply it consistently, which is where I think we got into some work with Rothbard and Mises and stuff like that, was Murray Rothbard, was that in a voluntary society, all human interactions should be voluntary. And if they're not, then you have rulers, right? Because somebody's claiming that they rule another human being. So I think if that answers your question, omnimo should do who is that a capitalist society, one that is purely capitalism, and like I said, I use the word capitalism in the purest sense of the word, which is free voluntary trade, that is completely in line with a anarchist ideals.
Yeah, I like the way that you said. I don't know what Durand. What was Patrick Lewis saying? I can't find his comment.
Hold on. He's a corporate, confederate, sovereign servant of the Heavenly Father. I don't know what that means, but I'd like to hear more.
I think he's just probably talking about the government in the U.S. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But it's yeah. I think maybe I should do a. I can tell you one thing. I'm coming out with an audio, kind of a short audio video for the 4th of July, just to talk about
freedom.
Yeah, just talk about freedom, give people a little bit of some spirit on that day. But I think I should do somewhat of a video on the Confederacy and on the Civil War. I think I might get a lot of hate for it, but I think there's a lot of misinformation that's been spewed by public schools about that, and it's a really crazy rabbit hole to get down. So maybe I should just set a thing up where I'm going to do something like that. But as far as the whole ANCAP thing, what John said hit the nail on the head. There's no way really to implement communism without some sort of use of force.
And coercion. Definitely coercion.
Yeah, some sort of coercion, use of force, something like that. So that's why I say anarcho-capitalism is basically just anarchism. Anybody who wants anarcho-communism, I think, kind of really, I'm not sure that they would implement the non-aggression principle in their
they couldn't
philosophy.
Yeah, they have to take a shit.
Yeah, yeah. So I just don't even give those people any time of day. John, you said that you've been debating them, man. Is there any way that I can find that online?
Yes. So my friend runs the page Anarcats, where he laps as a cat to basically
my shit.
Yeah. To basically get under status radar. So by posting cat memes and stuff with voluntarist principles behind them, he obviously
is this on YouTube or Facebook or
Facebook. So yeah, and he's also writing a children's book from a cat perspective about voluntarism. So yeah, that's his page, right? He runs Anarchats. And yeah, so he's been debating commies all week and been posting them to our little Facebook group chat that we have. And this is what I mean by communism in itself is not voluntary. And to me, like, it's the most absurd thing ever as a business owner myself. When people are like, capitalists exploit people, I'm like, what? I voluntarily offered you a job and you voluntarily agreed. Like, you can leave whenever you want.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's been insane to watch the mental gymnastics that people who claim to be anarcho-communists believe. And then, of course, my mates are very, very good at using the Socratic method to get them out that if we were to trade for profit voluntarily with each other, they would use violence against us, which is the exact opposite of what anarchism actually is.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, what was I going to say? I'm having a bit of a brain fart here, just like always. But, basically, but people's argument, the counter argument, and I'll just give you kind of a pre-made one that I'm just going to kind of regurgitate like an automaton. Yeah, you're free to work or starve.
Oh, yeah, he said that. He actually said that in the chat. It's like, welcome to nature.
yeah, like exactly. Like it was like 300 years ago. People just were like, "Yeah, I'm not going to go hunt. I'm not, I'm not going to do that stuff. Are you kidding? I'm a human. I got human rights to just get this stuff with. I don't got to go do all that nonsense." the cats and the cows should just come and offer their bodies to me as sacrifice for just my mere existence. Those people.
It's like, can you imagine though? It's like, so you're on a plane, right, and it crashes in the remote wilderness, and there he is sitting there going, "Nature is oppressing me by not supplying me with food and water. I have to work for it." It's like, what? Yeah, mate.
No,
yep.
It's insane, dude. These people are they're out of touch with reality. I think is the problem. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. You grow up in a system where basically everything is, even food and water, is always at your fingertips, and you just kind of fall out of kind of what really the deal is. I think it's a type of psychosis.
Yep. Yeah. It's always generally very lazy people who have like no drive whatsoever. I've found who are anarcho-communists in inverted commas, right? They're never the people out there starting companies, because if they actually did, decide to start a company and start a business and actually trying to get ahead in life, they'd realize how unbelievably hard it truly is to start. And Craig, you yourself, I know, was a business owner until the state decided to use violence to stop you from voluntarily selling products to consenting humans. But you know how hard it is to run a business. You're doing everything from sales, marketing, product design, product development. You're the one fronting all the costs of the capital. You're the one on the hook if the business fails, right, for all the loss of capital. You're putting in massive amounts of unpaid overtime. It's like these people, as you said, are so out of touch with reality. They don't understand that business owners don't just sit there smoking cigars and whipping children, like, to make them work for you. They're the ones putting in thousands of hours to create something from nothing. It's just madness to watch this ideology.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to give it a whole breakdown. I'm not sure that people are really interested. Ryan, first of all, come on up, man. Oh, you don't have the link. Okay. You're not getting a wrench, but you can get the link. But, I mean, Ty can even attest to it. Like, in the business that I was in, there's kind of a matter of consistency. I don't know about over there in Australia, but here in the U.S., some days you go to a person in the business and you buy a good product. Some days you go and their product is trash and you're always going to pay the same price for it. Mm-hmm. But it leaves a sour taste in your mouth when you get something. You almost feel like you've been messed over. You feel like you've been done dirty. So I would take I would take 14.5-hour drives every few weeks to make sure that I would go down to Colorado so that I could get the best. And it's true. Like, you're sacrificing stuff. In that business, you can't hire people. I had to make a drive and sacrifice sales. But, you make decisions. And ultimately, I was on the hook when the business went under. I was on the hook for a lot of stuff. I had to pay legal fees. I had to pay in basically just getting my stuff stolen from me. And basically all that I did was provide a service to people that they were willing to pay for. They wanted to pay for what I was giving them, and that's all that happened. But there are people that will try to paint me as like, look at this guy. He's one of the biggest crooks that there is. Like, I can't believe that he did that. And it's like, really? I mean, the reality is if I want to get into the legal business, I would have had to pay. I know it's like $100,000 to get a weed license in Colorado. I don't know about other states, but there's barriers to entry in the market. I couldn't get in there, so
it's over $1 million in Australia.
Oh, that's insane, man. You can't get in there unless you've got connections, basically. So.
Well, I was talking to a friend who was in the same line of work as you were, and we just legalized medical marijuana. And he was saying that the problem which we have, and the reason why the medical marijuana is so utterly garbage in Australia, is because all of the people who actually know how to properly grow it are in cages for growing it. And the state grants monopolies over the sale of it to their bodies, and that's why the buy-in price is $1 million minimum. And then to get hired in the sector, if you have any criminal conviction for anything to do with weed, you're not going to get hired. So even if you did do jail time, you can't come out and go, I grew this stuff for 40 years. My customers were super happy. I want to grow it. So the companies who are granted exclusive monopolies over it are full of people who have pieces of paper from university, but zero real world experience. None. Right? Yeah. And so the product is absolutely garbage as a result of it, because they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
But they have their pieces of government paper that says they know what they're doing.
Yes.
So it's mad.
They say it, so it is. So it's man, that's pretty atrocious to hear. I'll be honest, in Colorado, I can attest it's nothing like that. I don't know what the laws are like in particular, but obviously if you have a felony in the US, you can still get hired. It just significantly reduces your chances of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Brian Scott Patterson, you are a member, and I want to address this. Child labor, poisonous and contaminated products, and mass death led to the FDA, federal income tax, and brake checking monopolies. So I don't know about elsewhere in the world. I'd like to break down what I can do. Brake checking monopolies has never happened in the federal government. There was never a company that had 100% market share and they came in and broke it up. And there have been times when the government has granted 100% market share in certain markets, but never a time when they've broken it up. Child labor was more out of, kind of like what John was saying earlier, welcome to nature. Back 200 years ago, if you were born on a farm, you're going to be working on that farm from the time that you could. I mean, it wasn't because your father was extorting you or taking advantage of you. It was because that's what you had to do to make ends meet, right. Yeah. What you had to do to eat. So child labor does not, that's not really anything bad. It's kind of something that's been going on for a long time. Yeah, Direct D's in here. Yeah, I mean, we don't stop. That's facts. You can hate on me if you want for not stopping, man, but we don't stop. So, but anyways, so federal income tax. The war kind of led to that. Like the wars in World War I and World War II kind of led to the income tax growing and becoming, because it started out as a voluntary tax. A lot of people don't know that. It still is on the books as a voluntary tax. But if you try to not volunteer,
try not to volunteer.
Yeah, you try not to volunteer, something might just happen. Yeah. So, and then mass death. I mean, mass death happens still in factories and whatnot. If there was an explosion or something like that, it just is what it is, man. Some things take risks. Brian Scott Patterson, though, yeah, the whole Standard Oil was at 80% market share of oil manufacturing, but when the federal government came in to break them up, they were at about 64% market share. So they were actually losing market share, and then the government came in to save the day as they were losing market share. So, it's kind of a fallacy. The government doesn't break up monopolies. The market breaks up monopolies. But Direct D, what are you doing? Insulting me on my own live stream? What is this? Is this a chili splinter cell? It's me. You must really not watch my content, man.
He's got your number. He figured it out a long time ago.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know, but yeah, I don't really, I don't even think that merits a response besides that. But anyways, yeah, I mean, guys, this is nearing an hour, and I didn't really want to go on too long about it. But about anything, I just wanted to come on and have a quick live stream. Yeah,
we are going to release
I hope so, Direct D. Yeah, you know how I felt about Chili really from the start. He's a dumbass, but
and Craig's going to release a quadfold next week.
That's right. Yeah, screw the trifold. Everybody, get your quadfold.
$55.
It's coming out, and I hear there's some people that are out there. They're really kind of they're kind of cheating, right? They have the trifold, and it's that they actually used a computer to print it out. This is going to be my handwritten quadfold. So you guys are going to have it straight from me, and it's going to tell you exactly what to do when the cops pull you over and stuff. You just put it right up in your in your sun visor, you're going to know exactly what to do. If the cop doesn't believe you, just raise your voice at him and continue repeating what's written on the quad fold, and you're going to be okay.
There's going to be big letters that say, "Send me a supervisor."
Yeah. Chili's got the mediocre visor. I'm going to send you all the supervisors. So it's but seriously.
Durand, I know we talked last week about getting some questions together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some questions and stuff for another show if you wanted to, Craig.
Well, if you've got questions right now, let's just extend this. I mean, we still have 125 people in. Let's go over them real quick, and let's kind of cut it off around an hour 20, unless Ryan bullies me into going a little bit longer. So,
okay, cool.
I just got here.
Oh yeah, I know. You're always on the. Oh, you said you were going to end the stream 5 minutes ago. Keep going.
Right. I show up and you end it.
All right, that's unfair to you. You're right. So we'll continue it. So John, you've got some questions, man. The floor is yours.
Oh, cheers, Craig. I just want to quickly point out before I ask the first question, when it comes to I hear the child labor one a lot. It's like people don't realize the government now puts you through 12 years of unpaid labor, where when you get out of it, you are so incompetent at everything, you're not even qualified to flip a burger after 12 years of education.
And I can that. Yeah, they do not know how to flip burgers after getting out of high school, because that's what the McDonald's workers are. I swear to God, you can't get your order right there. You know.
Correct. So, the first question I have is in a free or voluntary society, how would patents and intellectual property be viewed, enforced? Are they even legitimate property at all? So I open that up to the people, whoever wants to go first. Any
takers on that?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Ryan.
So the big misconception that everyone has is that, an anarchist society has no rules, has no order, has no way of squashing their squabbles. Basically, you can still go to court. Lawyers would love a voluntarist society, because they'd be in there all day, every day. If we didn't resort to violence and enforcement, we would go and have these things settled, mutually in a arena that we both agree to. So someone violates your patent, you go to court, and you get all the credits that you want. Now, how to enforce beyond that after they don't pay up, that's a different story. That would be something that would have to be worked out as far as intercepting money and all those things. But it's not that hard to figure out.
Follow up to Ryan. Do you believe that intellectual property and patents are a legitimate form of property at all?
That's a tough one, because I do understand that every time something, interesting or well-made comes out, China will steal the plans and designs and kick out a bunch of knockoffs. That's tough. So, I mean, there's two ways that I look at it. One, it's already happening. People are stealing ideas and stealing content and stealing, knockoffs are plentiful all over on Amazon and everywhere else. So we're not stopping it as it is. So does that person have a right to have their idea protected for a certain amount of years? That's tough to say. I mean, I think the best thing is to get it to market quick and get what you can. But I understand that people, have problems trying to collect on their ideas before someone else, improves on it and outcompetes them.
So I actually have an answer to your question, John. So I'll answer the second one first and the first one second. So the second one do I think that intellectual property is a legitimate kind of form of property, or if patents are legitimate? And I don't actually think that they are. I think that people have an ability to make sure that if they invent something, they can plan it out, they can contract with a manufacturer, and they can make sure that they find ways to produce that product cheaper than, or as cheap as possible. Now, I think that Elon Musk has kind of shown us the light in this sense, because every time he makes an improvement to his electric vehicles, he actually releases the blueprints. And he preaches within his company that innovation is key. We're not gonna stay ahead unless we continue to innovate faster than everyone else. And I think that really is the key when it comes to the market economy, is that if you create something, if you invent something, that's great. Hopefully your sales pitch is good, and hopefully you can sell it to a manufacturer before you decide to go out and start selling singles of the product for the manufacturer to just go and copy it themselves. But as Ryan said, it happens anyway. And really, it's not your property. It's your idea, and your ideas are not property. It's, once I put my ideas out to anybody, I speak about capitalism or anarchism all the time. I think the two are the same thing. But if somebody else was to change their mind and go out and start making a YouTube channel about anarchism, what am I going to do? Say, hey, that was my idea. It's a ridiculous idea that your ideas are your property. I just think that, if you make a car, if you're able to produce a car better than anybody else and cheaper than anybody else, the market's going to congratulate you for that generously. But if somebody else comes along and does it better, that's all there is to it, and you've lost. And that's my take on it, though.
Well, let's be clear. I mean, they are your property. So your thoughts, your ideas are your property. But literally, when you open your mouth, you are sharing those. So
that's what I was getting at. Yeah. So thanks for clarifying that, Ryan. Yes, you're right. Yes.
So as soon as you share them, well, you're sharing them just like you would, half your sandwich.
Yeah, and it is your right to voluntarily shield that IP from getting out to other people who could use it. I guess you just have to get really creative if that was the route you were trying to take, because people are quite creative about it right now, but they're not too successful with it. So,
and speaking of business, real quick, I did post that link. I have a video coming out pretty soon on DirectD. I'll give you guys a sneak peek of him at work real quick, just very briefly. I don't want to share too much.
Okay.
So,
find the comment. Did you share it in the private chat?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want me to share it in the public chat?
Yeah.
My answer to that, John, would be I don't think competition is bad for anyone. That's the short answer. I don't believe in IP or patents, or if someone comes along and produces a better product at a better price, people should be able to buy it.
Yep. So
particularly in the drug industry.
Yep. I put in my 2 cents. I personally am a designer and inventor, and I agree with everything that's been said. I have no right to use violence against another human being because they were to copy my ideas. And what I've noticed is just because somebody can copy my ideas, you can't explain my ideas, you can't sell my ideas, and you don't have my knowledge. So in a free market, the person who originally designed and invented it would have far more knowledge than somebody who's merely copy and pasting whatever they designed.
Yeah, first mover advantage, who understands the market and the product, is always going to do better than a copycat.
Correct. I agree with that. If you want more questions, I got them, but I'll let Craig decide.
No, yeah, I'm fine with it. I want to see what Ryan Youngblood has, though. Are you able to share that on screen on your computer there, Ryan? Or
no, not currently. That's what I was saying. If you got control, just go ahead and throw it up there. It's real quick.
Okay.
And it's just a snippet. This is just a taste, guys.
Okay.
This is DirectD. This is DirectD, the man himself at work.
Okay, we'll get that up real quick. Share screen. Oh wow. Now, I'll be honest, though. It might try to show me an ad here, so let's see. Hopefully it doesn't. There we go.
You don't have premium, Craig? Come on, man. Hot Peter.
See if you can zoom in on that.
I'm trying right now. It's giving me a hard time. All right, there we go. Yeah, Durand, I get paid by YouTube. I try not to pay them.
Perdón, te vas a mirar como muy estudiado.
And to give you a little bit of context, what DirectD does all day is smoke cigarettes, trim palm trees, and listen to Katy Perry.
Man, that's crazy looking.
That is insane, man.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to do that.
So that's DirectD and on his side job, is it, Ryan?
That's his main job.
Oh, wow.
That's
Okay.
gang.
So full video will be coming soon as I get done trashing Craig and Ty in the next one.
Yeah, of course. I've been waiting on it, man. Like your idea that
You guys are tough to edit.
dude, it's beautiful though. Like I love the idea because when you sent me that link to that, I was sitting there like, how the hell have I not heard this yet? This is like me.
Well, it's hard to see when it's you. Yeah, you see other people's habits easier.
Yeah, no doubt. So John, what's another question that you have for us, man?
So I have a couple different ones, and I'll let you decide which way we go with it. So there's a couple that sometimes voluntarists will disagree on. That's a section, or more to the audience, is I have a couple questions on how would certain things work, or how would we propose certain things work in a free and voluntary society. Which one would you guys like?
Whatever one you would like.
Okay, so this is one of I call them trigger posts that I put up on our page to basically get status to come in and screech, and then we can obviously preach voluntarist principles at them. And so one of the most successful posts I've had recently is, do you believe that child circumcision is a violation of the non-aggression principle and thus immoral?
Oh,
That is a tough one there.
I do, yes.
I am going to digress to the two older gentlemen that this question has been posed on. Durand, do you have an input on that?
Yeah, I don't have children at the moment, so yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, ask that again, John. Let me think about it again.
Do you believe that the circumcision of a child is a violation of the non-aggression principle and thus immoral?
Yes.
It's a.
But do I think it's wrong? I don't know.
It's a procedure that can be done later on if the child, decides to.
Ooh, have you spoken to anyone who had a late in life circumcision?
The latest I know of typically is I think the bar mitzvahs, right? The Jewish.
No, like people who weren't circumcised, but as an adult wanted to chop the dick off.
Wait, say that again.
Late in life circumcision, people that wanted to.
That almost kind of backs up Ryan's point, though, that if they were given the choice, they usually don't do it. It almost kind of makes it seem like, is that right? I don't know. I mean, why? Honestly, I don't understand. I don't know if they're like medical benefits or what goes on, but why would your parents be concerned about, chopping your foreskin off other than religious purposes?
Well, they say it's cleaner. They say it's a sanitary issue.
Okay.
I don't. I've heard both sides of the argument, and I think since there is two very strong sides to the argument, it should be left to that person, when they are 18, some arbitrary age number, I suppose. Same as getting, girls' ears pierced. I mean, those can close back up, I guess, but I don't think it's a good idea to shove holes in their ears when they're 2-3 years old.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think that you guys John, do you have an answer to your own question?
Yeah. So circumcision of a child, like anything, is mutilation without the human being's consent. You are taking something away from that human that they can never get back, and they have not consented to that procedure. So circumcision, whether it be in males or females, is always immoral and wrong unless it is done with consent of that human.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, I can't disagree with you there. I just personally, I haven't thought about the issue myself, so I can't exactly say, like, you know, I've put a lot of thought into it and this is my answer, but I think I will, and I'll probably get back to you on it on a different time. By the way, can all of you guys have my phone number? Durand, I've gotten in touch with you since I've gotten my new phone. And John, I couldn't text you in the first place. I can email you still, though. But Ryan, would you shoot me a text, man? I have that old number back. It's just on a different phone. So if you shoot me a text, that way I have your number.
Is that a burner phone?
Yeah,
Yep.
that
Burner phones.
Got the old burner out of the evidence room, huh?
yeah.
I was going to mention to you, as I've gone through all of your, almost 200 videos, I've noticed that your number has come up quite a bit in there, just so you're aware.
Oh, yeah, no, I get calls from people, actually, that just want to that's actually how Felon Filming 5.0, the guy who usually is on here with me at the start, he got a hold of me at first just by giving that number that I said in the video a call, and he was like, he just started asking me questions. It was basically like an interview, and I just loved the questions that he had. So I was like, let's come on the panel with me sometimes and ask me some of those questions. So that's but no, yeah, I've actually met quite a few people, not in person, but obviously talked to them over the internet or on that phone through that.
And they say, I got your number off of one of your videos.
Yeah, I've been stalking you on YouTube, homie. What's up?
yeah. I usually don't mind it though.
It's funny.
Honestly, like I don't really see a downside. If somebody calls me on some nonsense, I'll just block their number. And if
consensual block. That's
well,
right.
until it becomes a problem where it's 20, 30 calls a day. But
yeah, well, and if that happens, this new phone now that I had to get since I got out of jail, I had to get a new phone number on it. So that one isn't public. But
did you get my text?
It's on the other phone is out in the car. So
okay.
I did get it though. I'm sure if you sent it to the old number.
I did.
Okay.
I'll give you guys a bit of an easier question then on and every single time that I'm sure you guys have ever told anybody you're an anarchist or a voluntarist, the first thing they say is, what about my roads? So the question is, would roads exist in a voluntary society? And if they would exist, how would they exist? Who would pay for them? And who would build them?
Well, and I'll answer that for you, John. This is just
I gave this one to
a sacrifice that we're going to have to make. I mean, let's be honest. If we went to voluntary societies, somebody would come along, they'd rip up the roads that existed, and nobody would be there to replace them. And that's just it. I mean, right? Am I right or am I right? You know what I mean?
Literally, yep. Nobody in the free market could ever put some hot stuff on some flat things. Impossible.
They didn't know. That's right.
Never. No, of course there'd be roads, and they'd probably be much better kept than the public roads now, because whoever owned them would have an incentive to keep them nice, free of potholes, and or else nobody would use them, right? Unless you lived on that road. But you would certainly, if there was a parallel road leading to an area that you were going, you'd choose to use the other road if it was better kept up. So, and basically, yeah, there would be tolls everywhere, or maybe there would be a subscription service if you lived in the area. But
or you'd freely move to a place that had roads you liked.
Yeah. I mean, there's a multitude of things that could happen. That's the beauty of voluntary societies, though, is there's really no telling how people would work it out. But people would work it out, and it would be, I can almost guarantee it, better than what we have now. Because right now, when we pay federal taxes, we pay for all of the interstates, basically. Because even if the states technically, even if on paper they say they fund them, they get grants from the federal government to keep those roads up. So I'm paying for roads in Florida and California and New Mexico. I'm paying for roads everywhere. And I really am not going to use those, at least, not for a long time. So I'd rather just stick to paying for roads around where I'm at that I'm actually going to use. Also, there's a benefit in private roads where people that don't have cars will not be paying for roads that they don't use. So there's a lot of good stuff that happens when we move to a voluntary society as far as roads go. But that's just my take. Ryan or Durand, do you have any input on that?
Oh, I think you remember this is one of the first questions I posed to you on that first panel when I talked to you the first time.
When you asked it, I thought, "Oh God, here we go again," because I didn't know what you were all about. So,
and my short and dirty answer is, the same question could be posed to fences. If in an anarchist, society, would there be any fences? I mean, geez, no one's going to build a fence.
Internet. Would there be internet? I don't know.
Yeah, it's preposterous.
Would anybody have phones unless the government was there to give people their Obama phones?
Right.
Let's be honest. I mean,
well, I suppose then a good follow-up to that question then is, in a free and voluntary society, there is no taxes. So how would we pay for things that people don't want to pay for, don't have enough money to pay for? Or how would poor people get these services if there was no way to violently force people to pay for them?
Charity.
Durand, you go first.
I agree with Craig. I mean, as a community, you would decide what you would do to support your community members, whether they were destitute or not.
Yeah, personally, in my community, my best friend, the guy who I just spent my whole childhood with, basically lived right down the road from me. We grew up together. His dad was diagnosed with a medical condition where his hands would shake, and he was a carpenter. So he actually wasn't able to perform his job until he was able to find some sort of medicine that he could kind of continue his work. And for about 2 months there, my mom every week would make these people a meal like that would last them for dinner and probably lunch the next day as well. And I believe that the whole community took turns actually providing these people with that service. I mean, they were great people, and the guy he didn't ever take government handouts because he had a moral objection to it. But the community came together and we supported this person. And this isn't a one-off thing. This happens all over the country. And it happened before. I think it was the 1930s or maybe the 1920s where America had its highest kind of charitable giving period. And that was when our society was probably, extremely capitalist. But, yeah, I just think donations and whatnot are they're rampant, right? I can attest people donate to causes that they believe in. So I don't think that
it'd be more community based. You wouldn't have this homeless epidemic in an anarchist society. You would have charity, you would have giving, you'd want to make your community a better place to live, to attract, better business and better community. You wouldn't just send in a check, send it off to the feds and see what fucking happens and what you get for that money. You would have a lot of angry people paying, I don't know what I paid. I pay over $100,000 in taxes a year, and I don't get shit for it. It's like, that makes people angry. That content.
And
I mean, imagine how much you could have done for yourself for that much, for that every year. But of course, it's all for your own good that they steal that money from you, Durand. How dare you question it?
Otherwise, I wouldn't have internet. I wouldn't have a phone. I wouldn't have I could have adopted my cat. I couldn't have done a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly.
The government cheese.
Yeah, there's a couple of comments in the comment section that I want to address, and then I'm going to wrap. Sorry, Ryan.
delete them.
Yeah, Brian Scott, that's right. That was the main purpose for religion was for charity. And then we gave him a tax break and all hell broke loose in religion.
Ryan, what were you saying about Toledo?
No, I said delete. I said delete them. I'm so used to being in Chili's chat where we just delete anything, that we see.
Oh, yeah. Any dissenting comments. You're right, man. Actually, we'll just delete them. No, but delete.
No, I would add one little thing that it also, it creates this, this behavior that people will behave in a way where they want to be seen as a good person in society, and then people will help them when they're down and out. If you're a complete asshole and never help anyone else, you're not going to get that help when you need it. So it really keeps us in check and creates our own checks and balances without even trying. We don't have to go around forcing anyone to be nice, be good, contribute. It literally benefits you to be a better person.
Yes, it does. And with that being said, I want to address these two comments that I see, and then I'm going to wrap this up. Maybe you guys will have some good input for these comments. So, no speed limits, which is kind of awesome. I just want to say, Brian, there will be speed limits. Private road owners will not allow people to drive at reckless speeds. They may be more lenient and more thoughtful when implementing their speed limits than the government is now, but there will certainly be speed limits. If people are constantly wrecking at high speeds on somebody's road, I'm not going to be driving on that road. So,
well, we don't need speed limits, though. We can, you can add more curves, you can add more speed bumps, you can add more, deterring factors to those roads.
Right. Or, a private company can ban you from using their road if you neglect to adhere to their kind of speed limitations. So,
well, or you can make them put up a deposit before they use your road.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I mean, there's endless ideas in it. That's what I love about the market. They're problem solving galore.
Yeah.
So
we don't have to enforce, we don't have to, Sorry, go ahead.
I was just wanting to move on to this. So Anthony commented this when we were talking about charitable giving. He said, that's literally communism. Community.
Voluntary.
Community. Communism. Get it?
No.
Does anybody want to answer that? I really,
communism is forced coercion, taking all of the collective stuff and divvying it up.
Right.
That's not voluntary. That's not free market.
There wouldn't be any private charities because by definition in communism, the state owns everything. Yeah. So, there wouldn't be any private charities. I wouldn't have a choice to give anybody anything because right now I give money to guys like Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, who's it, Lindsey Graham. I give all these people money. I don't think they need my help. I think those people can go out and get jobs. That's what I think. But so this is communism. Private, voluntary stuff.
I see Ted Cruz up on one of those trees that Direct D's trimming.
Yeah.
I got to ask
them. That guy's a nut.
I got to ask then, Craig, one last question because you guys have talked about it a lot. We're in a free and voluntary society. How would there be money? There'd be no Federal Reserve, which is a private bank to issue currency. There'd be no currency monopolies to force things. There'd be no Fed to set interest rates and to control the markets and to control the financial markets. So who would make money in a free society? How would it work? Who would set the interest rates? And what would be the supply caps of the money in this market?
Okay, I'm going to get to that. But first, before that, Felon Filming 50 just sent me $40. I want to thank him for that. Guys, Felon Filming 50 is the one who usually runs these. He's out sick with COVID right now. So please go over to his channel and subscribe to him. He wants to get to the point where he can get lives available to him so he can interview these two down here, Ryan Youngblood, John Reese, and more to come after that. So please run over there, smack that subscribe button, and it's just going to help him get to the point where he can go live. But
I was wondering where he was. I hadn't heard from him all week.
Yeah, he's out with COVID right now. Lackluster. He says it all. We don't need fiat to barter. So, John, from my understanding, money was something that evolved from barter. It was the improvement on barter. Barter was what we had. It was a completely decentralized system. No government needed to regulate it. And then people decided that there was a common value in gold. Everybody could find value in gold. It was relatively light for how much it was worth. You could always find somebody to buy gold, and therefore you could always sell your gold for some sort of good. And that was how money came along. It was an improvement on barter because, obviously if I had 10 chickens and you had a desk or, maybe you had a rocking chair and I wanted your rocking chair, but you don't want my 10 chickens, right? You want, And it's ridiculous comparisons because nobody's going to trade a rocking chair for a horse carriage. But, say you want a horse carriage. Well, I don't have that. I've got 10 chickens. So it was beneficial to all of us to say, okay, well, let's just use this gold as kind of a common good that we're all going to trade. And it became much easier for us to transact. So money actually came around way before governments. Money preceded governments by thousands of years. And, I think actually after government got involved in money, it's not hard to see what happened, right? I don't know about the Australian dollar, but the U.S. dollar since 1913, when the first $10 bill was printed out, it's gone down, I think, 99%. It was worth $20. An ounce of gold was worth $20 in 1920, and now an ounce of gold is worth $2,000 plus. So it's gotten out of control since government has got there.
Well, before that, though, we did have regional monies. I mean, we had banknotes.
Well, yeah, but the banknotes were always just to represent that they had real money in the bank.
Right. And the problem was they were local, so they had different coins minted in different areas, and you had to try to figure out how many Pennsylvania shillings are worth, Texas, quarters and stuff. So they had a hard time.
Gold on your back to go conduct business.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if you guys know the story of, gold used to be, they used to have it in dust and you'd carry it around in a bag, and the bartenders at the saloons, would always hire these big guys, to pour the beer because one, no one would steal, and two, he'd go in there and he'd pinch, and the bigger the fingers you got, the bigger pinch you can get for, payment for your alcohol. So,
right.
Every system has gaming, and there's going to be gaming in every system.
Yeah, the thing is with that is as far as the value of a coin, I mean, anybody who's selling anything is going to be familiar in the value of the money they're going to be transacting in. And there were ways that they used to make sure that the amount of gold in a coin was actually true to what that mint was reputed for putting in their coin. Right. And the way they did that is if you have a quarter, you'll notice that there's notches in the side of the quarter. And so the way that you knew that gold coin had as much gold as the mint said it had in it was you checked those little notches. And if it was smooth on the edge of it, you knew someone had tried to take some of the gold out of that coin. But if they were still notched on the side, you know that gold coin had as much gold in it as before. And we didn't need state agencies to mint it. Now, granted, state agencies did mint it because they had a monopoly on it. They wouldn't allow anybody else to do it. But absent government, we would have reputed gold mints and silver mints just fine. And I assume that they would be more reputed because obviously the U.S. was minting coins up until 1961 with real silver in them. And then secretly in 1961, they started taking the silver out of them. If a private company started doing that, all hell would break loose. But it was the government, so it was okay. So I actually like private sector money better than public sector money. As private sector money is gold. That's what the market decided on: gold, silver, and bronze. And it's worked fine. It still is money. It's just that it's taxed so heavily, it's not convenient to use it as money in today's age. So that's my opinion. That's a long-winded answer, John. But
yep, no,
and counterfeiting is part of that too. They use counterfeiting as an excuse as well to regulate, and make it all one big system.
They can't have counterfeiting unless it's them doing it.
That's right.
Yeah,
they don't like.
I was going to say, Durand, do you have an opinion on this question?
No, Craig hit it on the head.
Quit agreeing with Craig.
Anything better with that? I mean, why even try? I'll just shut up there. That was an economic.
I'm gonna yell at Craig in a second when I get a chance.
I don't want the smoke, Ryan. So I'm actually gonna.
Oh, you're gonna get it. I caught you on a panel, advocating for violence against someone. We're gonna have a little talk.
Now I wasn't advocating for violence. I was simply advocating for the right to defend yourself and your family against monsters.
No, you said, no, I think it should be okay to go get that guy.
Well, you take care of him, right? If
you don't get to take care of him. He didn't hurt you.
Well, if he hurt your kid though, you'd be able to
then I'll back my kid up. And
I guess I didn't explain it enough because I was pandering to the audience.
I noticed.
But you got to do that sometimes when you're kind of taking when you're a politician advocating for no politics, you got to kind of pander a little bit.
Hold on, I got to go unsub from this channel. You just say you want to be a politician? You're gonna follow in Chili's footsteps?
Like if you just vote for me for governor, everything's gonna be okay.
Here we go.
All right, I'm gonna promise you that. So
yeah, fix it all. I got all the solutions.
Yeah, nobody will get hurt anymore. Everybody's gonna have abundance, and if you don't agree with me, you want to kill your grandma. So
that's right.
That's pretty much all there is to it. But and by the way, I am joking severely there. I know I'm bad at it, but guys, I am going to end this stream. Thank you for the panel for coming up, man. You guys are you're always there on these panels and you make them happen. I really appreciate that. Everybody make sure to go sub to Felon Filming 5.0 and hope that he's back next week.
Yeah.
And we will see you all later. So everybody, be safe.
4th of July, guys.
That's right. Yes. Have a good 4th of July. Enjoy it. Remember what it's about, even though the government kind of just wants to distract you with these flashy fireworks. Don't get distracted by it. Remember what that thing is all about. So everyone, always film the police. Be safe, and we will see you later. CHandTY out.